Hello and welcome to today's video. This video is going to be all about the Humble car boot sale. So let's get on with it. Okay, so car boot sales. Just quickly, for anyone who doesn't know what they are, I'll just quickly run through it. Most people probably do. They're pretty popular in Britain and in some other countries as well. I do believe in Sweden they have quite a popular presence, for example, but they're very well known in the UK. In particular, it seems to be the Essex area, which happens to be where we are right now in this video, but they are pretty well known in the UK. But just in case anyone doesn't know, that's fine. So basically all you do is you turn up to a car boot sale as either a seller or a buyer. If you're a seller, you normally get there nice and early. They usually open from about 5 in the morning. You could probably turn up somewhere 5, 6, 7 and still expect to make a fair bit of money and spend quite a few hours there. You turn up, if you're a seller, with your items you want to sell. Obviously you just lay them out on the table in front of your car, and then the buyers come and purchase them. Now buyers sometimes have to pay an entry fee to enter the car boot, usually less than £1. It's hardly anything usually. A lot of them are free, and then sellers might need to pay, well, always need to pay entry fee for bringing either a car or van. It's slightly more usually if it's a van, so usually between £9 and £12, something like that. Okay, so car boot sales, well, I've been going to them since I was a kid, since my parents took me, and I've been a big fan ever since. I mean for starters, it's shopping outside. Have you ever been shopping and you think, it's a nice day, and you think, well, why can't we just do this outside, or is that just me? Alright, and if you're not sold by that reason, and some might say, well, what if the weather's bad? But yeah, take those chances, there's always that possibility. But no, if you're not taking that reason, then apart from the obvious fact that you can perhaps get things for cheaper, it's the fact you can get things that you can't get in the shops. So, you know, I like to look for retro comic books, you know, I'm into retro collectibles, retro games, all that kind of thing, older books, albums, rare albums. I'm an 80s junkie, anything 80s, anything Japanese, you know, that kind of thing. You just can't get in the shops unless they're a second-hand shop. But obviously in a car boot you get it much more in spades, and it's kind of almost the fun of just discovering these things, these hidden things that you'll find every so often, hidden treasures as the old expression goes. So that for me is a good reason. As for how long car boots have actually been around for, I actually do not know. I did a quick bit of research on Wikipedia. They didn't have a lot on the history. It seems it's in debate of where they first came about. The only story that they did have, and I've found some websites that I'm not so sure if this is true or not, it could be, was just simply that a Catholic priest was on holiday in Canada in the 70s, and he saw something that was pretty much like the car boots as we know them now, and he brought the idea over to the UK as a charity fundraiser, and it's stuck since after the 70s, but I don't know if that's true or not. How did I get it? Anyway, let's look at selling. Okay, so why sell at a car boot? Well, here's a good reason: you'll make money, obviously. But why is there a good chance of making money, and how can you perhaps make more money doing this than perhaps selling other ways? Well, it can be good to sell out a market, get yourself a pitch, but obviously you need to be able to commit to that, because it's usually most places. I know, for example, in the Montfordera, if you wanted to do a pitch, you're required to do a certain amount of weeks. So car boots have the flexibility that you can just turn up whenever you want, and not each week if you can't make it. It works out cheaper, much cheaper, the one-off fee for bringing your car or a van, and you can bring out a lot more stuff, because to be honest, it's not just what you can put on your table. People will lay you know, like a mat out on the floor and put more stuff on there. People bring rails to bring clothes on, all that kind of thing. You might be able to get things like rails, for example, if a shop's closed down, they might just be chucking them out. People come by them that way, so you can get a lot out. Now, it's great to sell on your own shop if you've got one online perhaps. It's great to eBay it. One thing you will of course save selling this way is on postage. Obviously you haven't got to take into account the cost of postage for anything you sell, so you get the whole profit back on anything you sell. So that is a bonus, a big bonus. Now, all the time, loads of people visit car boots. They can get really, really busy, so there's a good chance, a lot of people can see your stuff, there's a good chance you can make quite a bit of money. You know, just turn up on the day, you know, you're likely to sell quite a lot, that's the honest thing, as long as you've got enough things of interest and people are interested in a variety of stuff. Remember that old expression, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So something you might not be able to use anymore, somebody might completely love, or something that you perhaps got somehow and you thought, why did I buy this? Well, you might not like it, but someone else might. So yeah, you know, you've got a good chance to find a buyer somewhere for your items. Okay, so a couple more tips. Well, if you are a seller and you are setting up, don't forget to bring some kind of waterproof sheet to cover your table just in case it does rain. You can get them in a pound shop, but they're not normally see-through. You can get a see-through one, then people can still see what you're offering underneath. That's better if you have to quickly chuck it over if it does rain. If it does start to pour down, it's worth sometimes sort of trying to hold out a bit, because like what happened when I went earlier, it did rain, but thankfully not everyone went, because they probably had seen the weather report and it was going to get really sunny, and it did, so it was certainly worth staying. And obviously you've got your car with you, so you can always just take shelter in there until it gets better, the weather-wise. Obviously if it's really, really bad, then you know, you might have to call it a day, cut your losses. But you know, if it's going to rain, I guess you want it to happen nearer to the end of the day rather than the beginning, so you at least get some time selling. There are a few, not many, car boots that start late in the afternoon, sort of like 3 and 4. If you can find one of those, then at least maybe you can go on to that one if the weather improves, if you didn't have much luck earlier on. But yeah, definitely bring something waterproof. The same as, like, I know it might seem obvious, but if you're a buyer as well, bring like a coat even if it's really hot, because you never know when it's going to change. We know how unpredictable this weather is, that kind of thing. If you get hungry walking around buying, there's always loads of burger vans, chip places, stuff like that. Fruit and vegetables, it's like you get at the market, people selling bowls for £1, that kind of thing. Towards the end of the day they usually do 2 bowls for £1. There's even sometimes, there's usually stalls selling things like chocolates and cereals and crisps and that kind of thing, very, very reasonably. There's usually nothing wrong with them at all. Obviously just make sure, check as best as you can, packaging's not open, that kind of thing. But the reason why they're usually cheap is just because somebody's obviously got a deal, they might own a shop or whatever it is, they've got all this spare stock, and it's usually very near its sell by date, if not after it, just the best before end date usually. So, and obviously that's fine with some things, just obviously use your own judgment. I see a lot of people in today's car boot selling dried meat. It seems to become a popular thing, you know, like dried hams and that. And interesting. I guess it's very popular with car booters apparently. You don't think to buy food from a car boot necessarily, but it is something that can come up. You know, again, it being an extension of the market. No, it does. Oh, and probably don't go around them in your best clothes, because they tend to be very muddy, often dirty fields, sometimes like with long grass and that. You bring like your best shoes and that, but you're better off bringing like trainers or something casual, you know. I don't think you'll want to be tottering around a car boot in high heels. The one I went to earlier, the ground is so uneven, it's so bumpy, you'd be asking for it. Hard enough walking through it actually in normal shoes sometimes, so yeah, don't chance anything like that. Other than that, if you decide to do a car boot as a seller or buyer, just enjoy it really. You know, there's just plenty to look at. There's obviously, if you're selling, you know, you're just trying to shift as much as you can, try and be as helpful as you can to your would-be customers, and obviously try and flog as much as you can in the best, fairest way, so you get a good deal and they get a good deal. It's up to you how you play it really, but yeah, enjoy it. Let me know, have any of you done car boots as before? Are you a fan? Do you make money selling them? How much do you make? Have they been really successful for you? Or perhaps your buyer, have you got any tips? What do you look for? What's the best thing you've ever managed to buy at a car boot? Let me know in the comments below. we'll be doing more on this subject of car boots in the future. Look out for a collab with a fellow YouTuber where we'll be going to some car boots and hunting down things such as retro games, retro comic books, retro albums. Should be really fun, so look out for that. As I say, let me know your comments below, and there will be more features and videos on ways that you can both save and earn money, such as this one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Have a good one.